it's Lel, and it's time to talk about episode 34 from Tropical-Rouge Precure. I am a little tear-eyed because I honestly almost cried twice while watching this. You know when you're watching something and you start tearing up? I did this twice in this episode, and I feel like this episode wasn't really trying to do that to me. I guess I'm a little too over-emotional right now. I don't know why. But this was a surprisingly sweet episode. I was expecting it to be very funny and outgoing with some emotions here and there, but it wasn't. It wasn't one of those big tropical episodes. You know, when they start tropicalizing every single second of it. You know, it was just, I think it was kind of like reflective, and I really liked the narrative and also the philosophy of this episode. So we have the whole dynamic of what you want to be in the future. It was a school project, everyone was talking about it, and when it comes to Manatsu, she doesn't know what she wants to do. And since we're talking about personalities, in this episode we had lots of references to past moments of each of the characters. For example, Asuka. The other girls were not part of Asuka's backstory. Only Laura was. But this episode mentioned that Laura talked about that to the other girls. And it was a very nice scene, by the way. And that Kururun scene with Asuka, I also loved it. Like Sango's part, Minori's part, when they talked about what they want to be in the future, it's all reference to what we know about them already. And obviously Laura too. And so there was this philosophy of thinking about the career that you want for your future. And we had another philosophy, which was Elda's philosophy. I don't want to grow up. I want to be a child. Because when you're a child, people pamper you, people take care of you, people feed you. You don't have to work. So she does not want that life. She wants to stay a child. And so we have those two conflicting points of view. And there was also a very interesting point of view, which was my favorite part of the episode, which was when the girls went to Manatsu's house and they met both her dad and her mom. Look, her dad is very, very hot. I love him. You guys probably know about that already. But that wasn't the most interesting part of it all to me. The most interesting part about that whole scene, that whole dialogue was when it comes to the characters of Tropical-Rouge, except Manatsu, all of them kind of have a clear view of what they like and what they want to do in the future. And even though we have characters like Sango who wants to inherit the store, her mom's store, she still feels like there are lots of other possibilities for her inside the makeup world, the cute world. There are lots of possibilities. In Minori's case, it's the same. She wants to do something about books. She doesn't know what. But it's in the book, it's in the reading or maybe writing universe. And then when it comes to Manatsu's home, we have both of her parents with clear jobs. Her parent is a scuba diving instructor and her mom instructor. And her mom works in the aquarium. So they both have clear jobs, and they asked them, is that what you always wanted to be? And they started talking about what they wanted to do. And just like Manatsu's mom's, I really loved Manatsu's mom's scene because she said that she wanted to be a ballerina and she tried and she failed. And the failing part of the failure of that trial wasn't really important. She didn't even care that she failed. You know, she tried something else and then she tried lots of different careers until she got to the one that she is nowadays. And her father, the same thing, but her father was more on the funnier side because he wanted to be objects and things, and he didn't really have a clear view of a career for him. And when he did, he started saying basically every single career there is in the world. But what matters is that sometimes you don't have a clear view of what you want to do in the future. And that is totally fine because it's Manatsu's philosophy in the season. Do what you want to do right now. Live in the present. And it's actually her father's motto as well for life. So she inherited it from him. And her mom also feels the same, like she is working in the aquarium because that's what she wants to do. And when you grow up, you understand that sometimes your dreams get left behind because you have to work, you have to pay the bills. So life can be cruel in that aspect. But also, maybe if you don't fulfill your dreams, you can be something else and still feel fulfilled and still live a good life. That's more or less what I feel like Manatsu tried to say when she was fighting against Elda during the battle, and she talked about the future and that adults can also enjoy themselves. And I feel like Elda was having a hard time noticing that because in her universe, she doesn't see the adults around her having fun. They lead a gloomy life under the sea, and well, there's a reason for that. And so when Elda ran away, I really liked that scene between her and Butler. Butler is showing more emotion now, and I'm liking that. But we also see Numeri and Shogire. Numeri is worried, and Shogire is more on the pissed off side. But at the same time, he went after her because he wanted her to be back, and he worked his way around it to give her the Araneta ball so she could get the motivation and come back to the witch's lair. I don't know if there's a name for that in the series. I don't think it does. And so I feel like I really liked Elda's character arc in this episode because we didn't have that in Tropical-Rouge so far. Like, we didn't have character building for the villains, like one episode for character building for the villains, and for Elda that was very good because, well, Tropical-Rouge villains aren't really villains, and they all have like little nuances to their characters, and I feel like working that with Elda was very nice. But I feel like they did that more because of the philosophy of you have to work, you're gonna grow up someday, so get used to that idea. That's also important to teach kids because, well, you're gonna grow up no matter what, and adult world is not easy. But we can still eat snacks and candies and such, and we still have a lot of fun. Sometimes. Not all times. Elda's back and forth with Manatsu, or Cure Summer actually, was very nice. And I really liked that we were in that mystery of what is actually Summer's wish for the future. And there was a little mystery to that, and that was revealed when Summer was fighting, and that moment was super cool. I really loved that scene. It was so nice, and her motto is also great. I feel like I can see myself in that philosophy. I can really see myself. I like making plans for the future, but in the back of my mind, I'm always like, I'll go with whatever I'm feeling at the moment. I'm a Gemini, so I'm always changing. The wind is always taking me other places, so I end up doing what I can, in most situations, obviously, because, well, I have a job, so the job ties me down. But apart from that, girl, the sky's the limit, and I like Manatsu's philosophy. I really do. And the fighting scene in this episode was kind of cool. It was kind of cool. It was way better than what we usually have. And that moment of Elda attaching herself to the Araneta was also nice, like a very nice tokusatsu reference. I liked that. And so it was cool. And then, as I said, that I teared up twice. It was in the ending part because we had a very heartwarming scene when Elda was going to come back. And she was going to come back and she didn't want to come back. But, she was fighting because she needed to come back. And she wanted to. She was already feeling lonely. And then Numeri appeared. And Numeri is always taking care of Elda. I really like their dynamic. And so, Elda said, I'm scared of Butler. He's going to scold me. And Numeri said, that's what's going to happen. You know that. But you can't do anything about it. And I loved that she gave her a little bit of her emergency motivation, as she called it. That was so sweet of Numeri. Oh my god, and the way Elda cried and they hugged each other. I teared up. I'm feeling very emotional today. Very, very emotional. And the other scene was at the end of the episode in which the girls were talking about their dreams and Laura was talking about being a legendary queen. And then when she said that, Manatsu said, you can be a legendary queen, you can be all types of queen you want to be, but promise me, you're still going to be my friend. And, well, I feel like I was expecting that, but that felt very sweet. But what really surprised me was the other girls joining in together with her, saying the same thing, you know, count me in, I want to be your friend too when you're a queen in the future. That was so, so sweet. I loved that moment. So, tears started coming. Tears started coming at that moment for me. And before I finish, let me just remember some moments that were super cool. We had a certain scene in the episode with an amazing soundtrack of each of the girls in their own environment. Sango with her mom, talking about her own dreams and her mom's wishes for her career too. Very nice. Like, it was short, but very nice. We had Asuka looking up at a tennis store, and then she saw like a tennis player in the future, an inspiration maybe for her. That was also very cool. And the tennis rackets, one blue and one red. Asuka and Yuriko maybe? Are you trying to hint at something, Tropical-Rouge? And we had Minori in her room looking at her own book, or the Aozora book, the literature club book too. So I feel like her wishes of writing, of wanting to write, are there. And then we had that other amazing scene of Manatsu and Laura talking about it, talking about their futures, and how Laura wants, and she's still holding up to be the queen and the legendary queen. She wants to be the best queen. I loved that scene. But in that moment, I felt like Manatsu had kind of like a little sad look in her face, because I feel like this is what they're trying, I believe, to hint right now. Laura's gonna go away at a certain point in the season because she still wants to be queen. She's gonna go away, and Manatsu knows it. So it was a little sad. Like, there was a little sad look in Manatsu's eyes in one of the moments of that scene, but that was a beautiful scene, and I really love their friendship, and I really love when they're like going to sleep and we see their hairdos in a different way. That was very nice, and I loved it. And we could even have a glimpse of like Queen Laura. That was so cool. That was so cool. Loved it. Anyways, episode 34 was a sweet episode. I was not expecting it to be this sweet, and I really liked it. What were your opinions about this? I'm very curious. Please leave a comment and we will keep talking in the comment box below. And I want to take this time to thank the members of the Magical Cinnamon channel. If you are a member, I really appreciate the support. I really appreciate that you stand by Magical Cinnamon. Thank you very much. If you've watched up to now, thank you so much as well. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye bye.